I hope this episode turns out okay, because I'm more fucked up than I meant to be. Hey everybody, it's Lana.
Whoa, that's not normally the person who starts talking.
Yeah, I got you with that one. How are you? That's what you usually say now. After that, you usually go, how you doing?
No, you have to intro the podcast first.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Welcome to the Long Lost Podcast, a Lost Rewatch and Watch podcast where we discuss Lost episodes.
It's me, it's Lyra, the other person who is in this show.
We're both here.
We're really good at podcasting.
I feel like I fucked this up. I feel like I should have just stayed quiet.
Why don't we just have AI do it?
The editing or the intro?
AI's supposed to be able to do it, whatever it is. So, like...
I don't think it can. I don't think AI can do it.
Yeah, no, it cannot. As somebody who used to work in tech, it cannot do it. It can do certain stuff, but most of what people say it can do, it cannot do.
So wait, let's do this. How are you? How are you doing? That's what you usually say to me. So I'm trying to. How are you doing?
Oh, how am I doing? I'm pretty good. Well, so I grabbed a bagel and I was going to see my girlfriend to bring her a bagel and say hi in the morning. And then I did, but I was like, oh, I gotta leave. I have this interview at 1. And then I left, and then the person who was supposed to give me the interview didn't fucking show up, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
So that was dumb. I mean, they were like, sorry, this doesn't happen or whatever. But if I hadn't showed that's it, right?
Yeah.
Can I say, sorry, you failed the interview, now you have to give me money and not do anything? Because, that's the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do I get the job for free? Because, otherwise I wouldn't get the job, if I didn't show up. So...
Shit's fucked.
Yeah. Instead, I just have to be like, it's okay.
Oh, no problem. I'm easy to work with and flexible.
Yeah, I'm charming and flexible. It's like, well, actually...
Imagine
was
if
annoying.
you were like, yeah, actually it's a huge problem. I no longer want to interview with you because I don't think you're very professional. And then they were like, holy shit, that's the attitude we're looking for, take no shit, be professional. That's what we want. You got it. You got the job. We don't even need an interview.
There are absolutely some fucking boomers who think that's how shit works.
Yeah, well, they're dumb and wrong.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. So I was going to go on a big old hike this weekend, and then that got rained out, so I didn't. So yesterday, I worked all day, and then went on a hike.
Okay.
And then I worked all day today, so I was just, walking for, almost, 20 hours straight of waking time. So my body hurts a little bit.
Yeah, aren't you not... That seems hard.
It's more just it's actually not muscle fatigue or anything. It's just my feet are a little bit achy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all right. Holy shit. I went with some friends on just a little hike yesterday, and we saw a fucking bad boy clad in all black with, I shit you not, dual katanas on his back.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And we
just
all
hiking through the mountains? What?
Yeah, and we were all just kind of looked at each other and went, all right, and just kind of kept going. There's not even really anything to say to that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm doing. I'm doing all right.
Wow. All right. So you're moving through some kind of psychic haze or something. That's so bizarre.
It was really weird. It was really very weird.
That's so fucked up.
He looked so cool, though. He did not look cool. But
I bet he did not. Why? What was his attitude? Was he friendly? Was he not acknowledging?
He was walking with another black-clad person who I'm not sure if they're fairly androgynous or if I just I don't pay attention to people, so I might have just not picked up on their gender because I was not looking at them particularly much. And they had some deep bass, I'm sure there's a word for this genre, but I don't know it. It was like death techno bass bumping on a speaker.
Did you just run into time travelers from the future? Are they doing a Terminator mission or something?
No, I think we just walked into somebody who wanted people to see him, which was really not cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was so... I don't like or particularly use the word cringe, but it was not a cool effect. It wasn't like, damn, that guy's so fucking cool. It was like, damn, dude, like, touch grass. Like, you know, like, that's what it was.
Yeah. So the other person was wearing a similar outfit,
Yes.
but was not carrying any
No
kind
katanas.
of blades.
No.
No katanas, no...
Might have had, like, a knife on the belt or something, but no large blades, no. It just felt like a big old, like, you know, look at me energy. And I was like, you're for as interesting as you're trying to be, you're being so boring.
Yeah.
But
that's so weird.
Yeah. Speaking of boring.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, maybe. Or not. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, shit. This one, you're leaving it open. So, wait, should we do the synopsis? You want to tell me your actual feelings, or do you want it to be
Let's do top-level feelings. I like top-level feelings up front. I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it.
Liked it?
Liked it.
Nice.
What about you?
I thought it was pretty good. I have some stuff that we can make fun of, for sure. But overall, pretty good. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, you talk for a while. I'm going to sip my drink.
Yeah, you just do that. I'll drink my coffee and water. Drinking coffee in a hot room. That's probably why I'm fucking melting. Okay. Let's do it. Season 1, Episode 9, Solitary. Saeed is sitting alone on the beach, having hiked away from the rest of the survivors at the end of the last episode. In his hands are the photos of a woman and the note that he was looking at a few episodes ago. As he looks around the beach, lost in thought, he notices a bit of metal sticking out of the ground, or out of the sand. Going over to it, Saeed discovers a big power cable buried below the sand. One end leads out into the ocean, and the other into the jungle. Saeed starts following the cable deeper into the island. As he follows it for a while, he finds a tripwire that he carefully steps over, only to get snagged by another trap that ensnares him upside down in the trees. As Saeed passes out, he's cut down and approached by a mysterious figure from the woods. Back at the caves, we see Jack giving some treatment to some other random survivor who is all anxious. It's some guy we've never seen before. Hurley and Jack talk, and Hurley says, hey, people are like bored and stuff, and Jack is like, whatever, we're just trying to survive. Saeed wakes up to discover he's strapped down in what looks like some kind of makeshift bunker with electric lights. A voice is asking him in multiple languages, where is Alex? Saeed is like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and then bam! He's getting electrocuted by the person asking questions. He fades into our first flashback. It's Saeed in uniform, as part of the Republic Guard in Iraq, doing some torture on a guy about a recent bombing. When Saeed leaves the torture room, he talks to another soldier who it seems like is a friend of his, as well as his superior officer. His superior officer buddy says Saeed is doing good, and he's gonna get promoted. It's at that moment that Saeed makes eye contact with another suspect who is being brought in, the woman from the photographs he now carries. Back at the caves, Locke and some other random survivor who was helping him hunt bring back a couple of bags they just found. This is a different guy from the other random guy. Hurley looks through them and sees something he gets stoked on, but we don't get to see it yet. Back with Saeed. He's still getting fried by the mysterious other person. Every time he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, the other person is like, I know you're lying, bro, just tell me. He recounts how he crash landed on a plane and heard the French transmission and is looking for the source of it. When he says it's been looping for 16 years, his interrogator reveals herself and says, has it really been that long? The two learn each other's names, Saeed discovering that her name is Rousseau by the name on a jacket in the bunker, and Rousseau learning Saeed's name from the envelope and photos he carries. Rousseau asks who the woman in the photos is. Saeed tells her, Nadja. This leads into our next flashback, where Saeed's ranking officer buddy is giving him the info on this new person who Saeed has to interrogate / torture or whatever. Once Saeed goes into the interrogation room, he sees that it's Nadia. She's like, what, you don't recognize me? And Saeed is basically like, yeah, I do. The two of them are childhood friends. Saeed is like, I really don't want to torture you, but I definitely will do it. And Nadia reveals this isn't the first time she's been tortured and is like totally unintimidated by him. She's kind of like witty being not intimidated person. Saeed is like, I'm gonna have to torture you though, and she's like, I know. Back in the present, we see that Saeed and Rousseau are getting to know each other a bit more. Rousseau is less suspicious as she talks to him more and more. She asks about where Nadia is now, and Saeed says, she's dead because of what I did. Back with the rest of the survivors, Hurley gets Charlie, Jack, and Michael to come out and surprises them with a golf course that he made. The stuff he saw in the bags were golf clubs, presumably. Hurley has to convince Jack and Michael that fun is actually good. They're golfing, having a good time, and that rando from the beginning, who had a rash that Jack was treating, finds them and is like, hey, can I also play golf? Saeed convinces Rousseau that he can help her repair a music box, who is from her lost love. Saeed asks her first name, and we learn that it's Danielle. She is more and more trusting of Saeed. We learn that Danielle was part of a scientific expedition that got off course in a storm and crashed onto rocks by the island. She says they survived for 2 months before they were coming back from the Black Rock. It was them, and she's looking sort of all crazy or whatever. Saeed is asking what happened to the rest of her crew, if Alex was one of them, but Danielle is kinda losing it. She says the others on the island got them, and Saeed is like, have you seen them, these others? And Danielle is like, I've heard them whispering, do you think I'm crazy? And Saeed is like, I think you've been alone too long. Flashback. Nadia is locked by herself in a dark room, looking like she's gotten all fucked up. Saeed brings her some bread and tries to convince her to just give up her allies. She's doing the thing where she's witty and she won't talk. She tells Saeed that he's pretending to be someone who he's not. She's making like an earnest kind of plea to him there. Back on the beach. A bunch more people hear about all the golfing and run off to go golf. Kate is like hella flirty with Sawyer about being like, don't you want to go golf and be with the group? And Sawyer's like, nah. Kate goes to golf and Sawyer is by himself on the beach. Saeed has fixed the music box. Danielle is overjoyed. As Saeed hands it off to her, we see him palm the screwdriver he was using to fix the box. He asks her to please let him go. She's like, what? No, you can't. You have to stay. They're disrupted by a roaring sound from outside. Danielle grabs a rifle and runs outside, saying hopefully it's just one of the bears. Saeed is like, it might be that monster, though. And she's like, there's no such thing as monsters. Back in the flashback. Saeed's commanding officer buddy tells him, all right, bro, it's been like a month, and she hasn't talked. We gotta kill her as a demonstration for what'll happen to people who don't talk or whatever. Saeed tries to convince him around this, but he can't. Not a few moments pass after Danielle leaves that Saeed runs and grabs his shit, as well as a map and documents from her bunker in a move to escape. He also grabs from among Danielle's stuff a rifle and runs off into the woods. The picture of Nadia left on Danielle's work desk. Back with golfing. There's a whole crowd now hanging out and golf clapping and shit. Michael tries to convince Walt that golfing is fun, but Walt is like, whatever, and wanders back off to the caves, presumably. Saeed nearly escapes when he sees Danielle in the woods near him. He gets the drop on her and holds his rifle pointed at her, all like, drop your gun. She turns and slowly starts to aim at him. Flashback. Saeed is escorting Nadia with 2 other soldiers to her execution. He dismisses the 2 others and uses that moment to try to free her. She's like, you have to come with me, but he's like, I can't, they'll kill my family, basically. Then behind Saeed, his commanding officer buddy's like, Saeed, what are you doing? Saeed turns around, and the 2 stare each other down. As his buddy starts slowly reaching for his pistol, Saeed is like, don't. His bro doesn't stop, and Saeed draws his gun and fucking murks him. Nadia is like, now you have to run too, and Saeed is like, no I don't. You stole my gun and shot him, and then you shot me. And he shoots himself in the leg. She writes the note that we see him carry and gives it to him before fleeing into the night. Saeed and Danielle are aimed right at each other. He says, I don't want to hurt you, and she's like, you already have, as she looks like she's about to shoot him. Saeed pulls the trigger, but it clicks, no gunshot. She's like, I removed the firing pin. Robert, which is like her lost dead lover or whatever, didn't notice it was missing either. Oh shit. Saeed is like, you killed them, and she's like, they were sick. If we had been rescued, what would have happened? Saeed tells her he is not sick, and then gives a little emotional speech about how holding on to the memory of Nadia for 7 years has pulled him away from the people who are near him now. Danielle is affected and lets him go, with one final warning to watch the rest of the survivors closely. Back in Golfland, Jack and Charlie are going for the final putt. Sawyer shows up and throws down a little bet against Jack. Other people start out looking at him like, fuck this dude, but then are like, fine, I'll take the bet. Kate and Sawyer share a little smirky look. Walt gets Locke to teach him how to throw a knife. And in our last shot, Saeed is running back through the jungle to return to everyone else when he starts to hear whispers from the trees around him. Lost.
Ooh.
Spoopy.
Very spoopy. But actually spoopy.
But actually, it's kind of spoopy, actually.
Yeah.
What do you have to hit me with? I was just talking about. You do the thing where you talk a little bit.
Yeah, you were just talking a bunch. All right. Our current pattern has seemed to be saving the big main thrust of the episode for last. So let's do that again. Let's talk about... Okay, no, this is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think this is a point where we might differ a bit, which is fun.
Oh.
From your episode recap, it seemed like you thought the golf bit was pretty fucking stupid.
Here's how I feel about it. I actually liked it. I thought it was charming.
Oh, okay.
I think in the process of in writing out what happened in the episode, the juxtaposition between how light the golfing thing is and that Saeed's story is like 80% torture is like very funny. But like in the episode, I think it actually works because it's kind of like, it makes sense. People are like, that people would be fucking bored, right? And it also like, the characters are charming and stuff.
Yeah, you get Hurley, you get more Hurley than we've gotten for a while, and I think he has a good episode.
Yeah.
Where he is, I like that it demonstrates a different kind of like, I've liked Jack recently a lot with his whole very practical, very single-minded, I'm keeping us alive vibe. I've really liked that for him. And I like seeing now also how you've got this other character in a very different way doing something valuable for the group that's like actually important.
Yeah.
But very different from the survival stuff. Yeah,
Totally.
I liked the golf bit. I really did.
Yeah, I think there's also a couple jokes in this part that like really made me laugh out loud. Like
Holy
I thought they were really funny.
Tell me about them, because I've got one in particular that I wrote it down. I was like, this was great.
Yeah, the two that I'm thinking of, there's one part where like Jack and Hurley are talking and Hurley's like, hey, people are like bored and like feeling like shit. And Jack's like, whatever, we're alive. Things could be a lot worse. And Hurley like takes a second and then it's just like, how? Which I thought was very funny.
It was very funny.
They're like in a fucking horrible situation.
I do side with Jack in that things could be worse. Because like there's a monster or something out there that's not eating you right now. But it was very funny, yes.
Yeah. I mean, because then it also cuts to, like, Saeed being tortured or whatever, so I guess it's like, I guess it could be worse, actually. Yeah. The other very funny joke was that, like, when they're all golfing, there's some moment where, like, I forget how it even happens, but do you know what I'm talking about? The, like, polar
I don't know, you haven't said it yet. The polar bear one? That's the one I wrote down.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, the setup?
It's so
for
good.
It?
I don't remember the setup exactly. I think it was just somebody mentioning the polar bear somehow.
They're all, like, just talking about shit. You know, I think what's happening is Hurley is, like, trying to sell them on how golf is a fun idea. And he's like, there's all this, like, horrible shit happening. There's, like, people are we didn't have water, and we're stuck on an island, and there's a monster, and there's, like, polar bears. And Michael's like, polar bears? And Charlie's just like, wait, you didn't hear about the polar bear? And then they, like, move on.
Great
but it's just,
line.
Like, so funny.
It is so funny. The delivery is so funny. The casualness of, like, you're just at the water cooler and you're like, oh, you didn't hear about the polar bear? Like, it's so good. It's actually so funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
I burst out laughing at 2 points in this episode, and that was one of them.
Oh, what was the other one?
The other one was holy shit, I laughed so hard. The Shannon ass shot.
Oh my god, I didn't talk about that.
I laughed so hard at that.
The context, like, basically doesn't matter. Like, it's just on one of the cuts where we return to the beach, there's just this, like, leering shot of, like, ass. Scanning. Yes, it starts on it cuts into Shannon's ass. Like, that's what it is. And then the camera, like, slides up her body, like, ooh, check it out.
Very salaciously, yeah. She's
like in her bikini.
Yeah.
It's so
gross. It's gross. And, like, it's so weird. I have such mixed feelings about this sort of stuff. Because, like I've said before, I like me some ass and titties. Let's go for it. But, like, the degree, like, how obvious and just unartistically it was done was really funny and just shit.
Yeah, it's like the leeringness of the camera.
Yeah.
Is just fucking gross.
I don't mind having her sunbathing in a bikini, but holy shit, that shot where it, like, starts at her thighs and slowly, you're right, just, like, tracks her body, like, up her ass, and then, like, it's so gross.
It's like the lens, and this is like, it's whatever, it's feminism 101, male gaze, blah, 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 but, like, it's just, it feels pretty gross.
It was really gross. And yeah, I think that's you're right in that that's what I find so gross about it. Like, give me some ass and titties. I like ass and titties, but I don't like the disgusting male gaze aspect of it.
Yeah.
It is gross. But I laughed. I had to I paused it and just laughed out loud for like 10 seconds.
It was hilarious so blatant.
To me. Yeah.
Every time they do this, it's so fucking blatant.
It's like, do you have no shame? Like, hide it, disguise it a bit, right? Like, fold it into a different shot or something, kind of, at least. But nope, just ass. Hey guys, look, we have an actress here. She's got a butt.
Yeah, it's like so...
Oh my lord.
What else? What are the other like little things that happen? Do we have any more stuff to say about golf?
About golf? I don't think so. It took up a lot of the episode, but I didn't really have that much to say about it, except that I liked it. I thought it was a charming bit. I think it's cool to have like group unity in a light activity in that type of situation. I think that's actually cool and good.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it, even though it took up a lot of time.
Yeah, it's mostly just kind of a fun, light thing. I think it's like a good counterweight to like Saeed's storyline. Yeah. It's like, it's mostly kind of high intensity and stuff, so.
I liked Jack in it, he admitted that he saw and admitted and acknowledged how Hurley did an important thing that he had been failing to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. That's good. It makes me I'm liking Jack more and more. I really am, which I did not expect, but I actually do like Jack at this point.
Yeah, I agree. They have made his character interesting.
Yeah, so let's talk about Kate.
Yeah, I was about to... Okay, well, do you have a place you want to start? Because I have a place I could jump in.
Yeah, no, start. I can start wherever and go on forever, so just start somewhere.
Okay, I think they are solidifying Kate's only things that she does are like ferry information from character to character and also be a fucking freak who wants to fuck.
Yeah, I wish I could see it in that light because that would be much more entertaining. Like, I wish I could, but I tried for many episodes. We're on episode 9. I tried for 8 episodes to hold back and not get locked into an opinion on Kate because I want to give space for her to be written better and have a better character. I'm fucking done. Kate it sucks. It's terrible. It's terrible. I fucking hate Kate. Every fucking moment she was on screen, I was like, cool, we're making the show worse. Awesome. Great. This is wonderful. Like, let me just look at my notes, see if I can point out some. So I have a note that is just, who is Kate?
That is a great note.
Yeah, she's standing there looking down the beach, and like Jack walks up and he's like, oh, what's up? You look weird. And she goes, Saeed's not back yet. It's been 2 days. And Shaq is just like, he's fine. He'll be fine. He's like a trained soldier. Like, it's been 2 days. He'll be fine. What is that characterization of Kate? What is that?
She worries.
But we get the characterization that she doesn't give a fuck about anybody else and that she's like a loner and doesn't want to be part of a group. And now she's like, I'm so concerned about this guy I kind of know in my group.
There is a line that's like insane when she's talking to Sawyer when like...
Oh, yeah, I wrote down that line too.
It's like when everybody else has gone off to golf, she's trying to convince him to go golfing or whatever. And she's like one outcast to another. God. It wouldn't hurt to do something, but it's like, what are you? In what way are you an outcast, Kate? What? Because you're like, is it because she's like a criminal? Does that make her an outcast?
It's because fucking she's whatever. Like she's nothing and everything at the same time. It's honestly. So my note on that is literally just in quotes: one outcast to another, and then fuck off, Kate. That line pissed me off so much because I was like, you're not an outcast. You're like appropriating outcastedness here. Like, what are you talking about?
Maybe that's like giving us some insight into what the writers think they're doing with Kate. Like, because like they think that she's an outcast.
Then why did they make her be all like, Saeed's gone for too long and I'm worried? That's not what a fucking outcast does.
Yeah, she also, like, knows everyone. Like, I think...
she's the leader
aside
of
from
Beach
Jack...
Team.
Yeah, exactly. Like, aside from Jack, I think she's, like, the person who the most other characters talk to.
Yeah. It makes no fucking sense.
So
it makes no sense, and she sucks, and she makes every scene. When she was in the golf scenes, honest to God, she just made... I was like, oh, this is fun. They're all having fun golfing. And then she was there saying some dumb shit. And Jag was like, oh, how long you been here? And she was like, I don't know why. I'm like, this sucks. I was having a good time with the golf, and this sucks.
It is easy to not realize she's there.
That's true, yeah. God.
I feel... Okay, wait, I want to pitch you on a term. I feel like you have catred.
I do. It's justified though. I don't. So, like I said before, I was holding back. I wanted to give space for it to be different. And now I'm going to need an act to be convinced. It's not like I'm no longer open to it. I'm open to being convinced otherwise, but it's going to take fucking work at this point, cuz this character is one of the worst characters I have seen in any piece of media ever. Like, can you think of a worse character in a TV show, in a movie, in a book?
Sure.
Okay, hit me with it.
Well, can I think of one? They're mostly forgettable, right?
I'm waiting.
So it's hard to cite. Oh, you know what?
I don't think Kate is forgettable. I'm not going to forget Kate.
That fucking annoying guy in Next Generation.
Barkley?
Although he has character traits.
No, he is not a worse character at all. He's a much better character.
I actually agree with you. I am more annoyed by him, though. Like, Kate, I just feel zero anything. Like, it's just like, it's blank space for me.
That's my fucking point. You can be annoyed by characters, and that's a thing that you're feeling. It's making you fucking feel something. Kate sucks. I am so mad. Because I actually, at this point, would say I kind of like this show. I think the show is pretty good so far.
It's getting into the shit. That's like, actually, it's picking up, for sure.
And I'm like, there's so many parts where I'm like, this is cool. I'm like I was talking about the golf. I was into it. I was like, look at them. They're all having fun times together, which is hard in that situation, but they're managing it. That's cool. And then you have Kate, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. Fuck me. Fuck the show. Fuck everything. Kate sucks. Oh, I really don't like Kate.
Let me give you an update on the Kate just wants to fuck situation.
Okay.
She just apparently has no negative feelings towards Sawyer at all anymore. Which, is it because he got tortured? Is it?
No, it's because she read the letter and was like, oh, he's had a bad time. And I know the real him. This isn't the real him. The real him, this is a mask that he's putting on for other people.
You're right. That is what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much more boring than she just wants to fuck him.
It is, yes. I wish she just wanted to fuck. If you just had a character who was like, I don't give a shit, I just want to fuck. We're lost on an island? Who cares? I get to fuck still. I would be down for that.
It's like, that's so lame.
No, she's like, I know the real him. You know, it's the very, like, it's also a very tired trope of, like, so it kind of attached, like, women trying to fix men. Or her being like, yeah, like, this isn't, I know the real him. He's not really like his actions all of the time.
Yeah, he's not really like all the things that he is constantly to everyone around him.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Kate sucks. She's bad. It sucks.
Ugh.
What else you got?
Jack. Hurley. Said. Michelle. Lyra. Sawyer. Walt.
Son.
Jin. Michael. Lana. Vincent. Charlie.
Let's do a Michael Watch segment.
Yeah, let's do a Michael Watch segment. Oh boy, it's funny. I actually did like this episode, I promise. I thought it was good.
We're just hitting the parts, the consecutive parts that you did not care for.
Well, yeah, Michael just continues to be characterized as a terrible father.
He both insists that his son not... Basically, like, there's a part where, like, Walt is like, hey, can I go with Locke to go hunting or whatever? And Michael's just like, shut the fuck up. You're not doing that. Which, like, is honestly a reasonable thing to tell Walt to not do because it's dangerous, right? It's reasonable to be like, hey, my 12-year-old son, you probably shouldn't be trying to go out where there's, like, dangerous wild animals at night or whatever. But the way that he does it is so just like, no... Stop. Like, no.
I mean, this is...
And then, when he gets brought out to golf, he basically forgets that his son exists. Like, he forgets that he left Walt, like, somewhere. Like, what the fuck, dude? Are you for real?
Walt literally says to him, you left me alone. And then Michael's like, oh, fuck. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I fucked up. And it's like, okay, cool.
And then he's like, do you want to play some golf? And Walt's like, no, that seems boring. And
and then he's
Michael's like,
okay, I'll forget about you again.
He forgets about him again. And he lets him wander into the fucking jungle by himself.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's so bad.
It's like, dude.
So my focus on Charlie, until something changes, is going to be on his relationship with his fucking son.
Wait, Charlie?
Because
Michael,
yes. Not Charlie. Who the fuck is... Oh, that's Charlie. Never mind. Yes, Michael is going to be on his relationship with his son because that's a very important relationship, A. Yeah. And B, it's a terrible racial stereotype.
Yes, it is.
So that's going to be my focus. But he got some, like, positive scenes in this, too, where he's like...
Yeah.
He's sketching out and designing like a shower system that they can build from the water stream or whatever. And that's cool, I guess. But when you have that for 40 seconds and then him being an absolutely terrible father for like 8 minutes.
So yeah, I agree. Like it's good he gets some like positive things and they're like fleshing out his character a little bit. Like, oh, he actually... Like, the introduction of him being in construction, of being, like, the cave will collapse if we do... Like, that was pretty weak, but him...
That was dumb.
Here, he has, like, some stuff, and he can, like, draw. And Jack's like, oh, you can draw. And he's like, yep, I used to be an artist or something, so... Yeah, it's also the way in which he's a bad dad is inconsistent because, like, he simultaneously is like, Walt, don't do anything that puts you further than 5 feet away from me. And also shut up and stop asking me questions. But then he also forgets about Walt and, like, doesn't care about him, like, wandering... Okay, if they've made this decision, which, like, it is a racist caricature, right, to start with him being, like, he's an absentee dad. But, like, if we're gonna have him be a bad dad, they also haven't figured out in what way he is a bad dad.
I totally agree.
Which is, like, shitty.
Yeah,
because it doesn't make sense. Even,
it's like, just as you started talking about that, I was just thinking to myself, like, this would still be terrible. In some ways more terrible because it would be more deliberate.
Uh-huh.
But what if they had him just basically be like, yo, dude, like, I don't know you. Like, I guess you're my son or whatever, but I don't know you. Time to man up and take responsibility for yourself and stop coming to me for all this shit. You got to, like, learn to deal with shit on your own, right? Like, that would be shitty and terrible, but it would be something.
My actual wish is that he was trying to be a good dad and sucked at it. Like, that's, like, how I wish it had... If this is going to be the direction for his character, started with him being like, well, I don't know my son, and I haven't raised a kid, but now we're trapped on this island. I gotta look out for him. But he just kind of, like, he tries, but is not good at it, right? But that's, like, not... What happens.
That's not what happens. He doesn't. And you brought it up, and I brought it up in the past. One of the big things is just he tells Walt things that he directs Walt to behavior that is correct, but without giving any reason. You know, you're right. Walt should not go hunting with Locke. That is a bad idea. And Walt should not drink salt water. That is a bad idea. Yes. That happened previously. But neither time does he, like, Walt asks about the toothpaste saltwater thing, and he literally tells him, like, just do what I say. And he's never like, hey, Walt, like, I know you, like, you're too young for that right now, okay? Like, let's work up to it. Like, he never gives any kind of... He does not treat Walt as a person.
Yeah, because that could even be a thing. Like, if he was like, hey, Walt, you're not old enough for it. You're going to get hurt. And Walt's like, no, I am old enough or whatever. And then he, like, sneaks off to be with Locke, and then that creates this tension or whatever.
Yeah, but instead he just forgets. He literally forgets about him. He's like, I want to go hit this golf ball. You no longer exist in my mind. Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's wild. All right, so that was Michael Watch.
Yeah. Woo. Was there any other, like, random shit?
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes. I got a few notes. I like the rando people who we haven't seen before showing up. That's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of that. Like the hypochondriac guy.
Yeah.
And the guy who brought back the stuff with, like, Locke, right?
Yeah.
His name was Ethan, and he's a fucking weirdo. And I'm fucking here for it. He's so weird. He's just like, I got these bags. And Hurley's like, oh, cool. And then he's like, yeah, it is cool. Like, he has such weird energy. And I'm just like, this dude is so strange. I love it. So I like that, just seeing other people.
Yeah, meeting some other, like, random people from the group.
It makes you remember that it's not that 12 people survived a plane crash. It's that 40-some did. Yeah.
For sure. I like that we're seeing some other random people, and they're, like, giving them, like, one character trait that's kind of, like, fun.
Yeah, right? That's fine.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
Great.
I really liked that. I think the only other thing I have before we get into the big stuff. Well, I think Locke is still cool. He doesn't get that much time here. He's just hunting and then teaching Walt how to throw knives. But like
you just keep wanting
cool.
to say Charlie.
I do. I don't know why. But I think he's cool when he's basically like the energy I got at the last scene with him with Walt was like, yeah, your dad is clearly not giving a fuck. So like, you want to do this? I'm not gonna tell you no. Fine, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, I get that too, because like Locke has had he's had so many opportunities where he's like where he's been like, no, your dad wouldn't want you to do that, or he like, you know, he helped Michael by like finding the dog and then saying like, hey Michael, why don't you bring the dog to your son? So like I get him then getting to this point where it's like, yeah, I don't know, your dad's really not coming through for you, so.
Well, and I like the feeling I got with it, at least, where it didn't feel to me as though Locke was thinking to himself, you know, Michael isn't being a dad to this child, so I'm going to be the dad. It felt very different than that. It felt like I said, Michael isn't treating him like a person. It just felt like Locke was treating Walt as a person.
Yeah.
He was recognizing his personhood in a different way, and I really liked that. I also thought it was interesting that maybe I'm reaching for this, but fine, it satisfies me. You know, Locke had his thing during his episode where he was saying, you know, don't tell me what I can't do, right?
Right.
And Walt's being told what he can't do by his father.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now he's coming to Locke, and Locke is like, hey, you know, yeah, if you want to do this thing, I believe in you almost, right? Like, I know what it's like to be told I'm not good enough for this. And I don't like that. So yeah, I'll teach you how to throw a knife. I like that. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think that's a reach. I think that like makes sense as like part of what's going on with his character.
So I still like Locke. Locke, cool guy, top tier, love him.
Mm-hmm.
I had one other thing before we get into the main bit, and just that I don't want to talk about it too much. I've talked about it before. The music cues are so over the top and intrusive and goofy and unserious.
Hit me with what you're talking about.
The fucking just go watch the first 15 seconds of the fucking episode again.
Was it really disgusting. Like dramatic music of him on the beach?
It goes back and forth between dramatic music and like it's literally you could close your eyes and listen to the music and you know what's happening. It's like, oh, dramatic, he's reading the letter, and then it's like kind of poppy, like, what did we see? We see something there. Let's go investigate it. Oh, where's it going? All in the musical cues. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, this is bad artistically. So I still think the music is way intrusive, over the top, overdone, and it bothers me when I watch the show.
Yeah, we're just on different pages with it. I'm like, it's fine. I'm
wild.
Not like, hell yeah.
That's wild to me. I do not understand you.
It's just like, that's how so much like TV works, you know?
You know what doesn't work that way? You know what only has diegetic fucking music? Do you not know? It's The Wire.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, not every show is like, that's a particular affect, right?
Yeah, but it's over the top for me. Anyway, sure. I don't want to talk about it too much. It's over the top for me.
Yeah, I can get it. Yeah. But speaking of that, the music cues at the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought this opening bit is really cool. I think him finding this cable on the beach was like pretty like, whoa, what the fuck? Like it just like leads into the ocean.
Really?
Like into the...
That's interesting.
Yeah, I dug it. What did you think about it?
I liked Saeed's... So we're getting a Saeed story in this, which is the bulk of the episode. And I liked it. I thought it was good. I want to say up front, and we'll talk about it as we get into it, I thought some of the writing was flat, not terribly horrible or laughably bad or plot holy, just kind of flat and nothing-y. Sure. And that's not the worst thing. I will say, I thought the opening bit that you liked, I did not like. Because, A, because of the music, and B, he sees this thing kind of buried under the sand, right? This cable. I just thought it was funny that if you like watch it back, it's really, really obvious it going into the ocean. And it's very not obvious where he sees it. Like if he was looking in that direction, he would have seen the obvious cable going into the water and not the cable barely visible under the sand.
Oh, sure.
Which I thought was funny. I just thought it didn't.
Yeah.
It did not work dramatically for me. Him and the music killed it for me. So I did not like the opening bit, but I liked his story broadly.
Yeah. Like, what did you think about it as we sort of? Yeah.
Let's figure out. I don't know how to get into this shit, but
yeah, because there's a lot here, right? So it's like, well, should we talk about like we meet a new character on the island?
Sure. Let's talk about that. I really liked that. I really liked her.
Yeah, Danielle Rousseau.
She is thoroughly erratic. But like in the way that she behaves and in the way that she treats Saeed, it is not consistent from one moment to the next. But unlike Kate, that totally makes sense because she's been stranded on an island for 16 years.
Yeah.
I really liked how erratic she was. And it was good.
I thought the whole, like, over the course of the episode, I think that a lot of the tension with her works of being like, how much can we trust this person? Like, it kind of goes back and forth, you know?
Totally, yeah. I thought it was a good performance, too. I thought she did really well. I think that she had a good performance. She did well in the performance. I think that Saeed's best performance moments were when he had no dialogue and he was reacting to her, which I think highlights his performance is good, but also the fact that a lot of the writing for him was, to me, pretty flat and straightforward and not particularly interesting beyond the context of the situation.
Sure.
It was just very straightforward for the situation he was in. But like for the moment when she asks him, or when she's talking about hearing whispers and he's reacting to that, and then she asks him if he thinks she's crazy, I thought his performance in that reaction where he's taking in how she's behaving was really good.
Yeah, you can see him like processing the information, and like you see kind of the moment where he's like, oh shit, like this situation is not under control.
Yeah, and he's processing it and also processing how he needs to respond to her to keep things going all right.
Yeah.
And I thought he did, like, that was really good.
Yeah, I think like kind of the story that plays out over the course of the episode between these two. Well, one, I think this is maybe the episode that most like the flashbacks are kind of like directly like sort of talked about in the context of the current story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're being addressed in our current timeline by our characters rather than a secret that the audience knows.
Right, like Danielle like asks about the photo and like the contents of the note or whatever because it's written in Sanskrit. Sanskrit a written language? Is that correct?
I think it's Arabic.
Yeah, it is Arabic.
Which I want to talk about, and we'll talk about that when we get into the flashbacks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this note that's written in Arabic. So their story that like plays out over the course of the episode is cool. They have like this whole sort of like starting to trust each other. Then that shifts around, and there's like some surprises, some sort of things come and go. Like I think like the climax of it is cool, where like he ends up with the gun, and he like would have murdered her.
He totally tries to shoot her. Yeah.
Yeah, like he would have just shot this woman.
He pulls the trigger, yeah.
But then, like, she, like, pulled the firing pin, and then it's like, oh, she killed the other people who were, like, part of her crew, and it's like, oh,
it's
fuck,
cool.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he hears the whispers at the end. Like,
yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I thought that was really cool. I've mentioned it before. I think the island is the most interesting character, and that continues that. I fucking love that shit. I think it's so cool. I also have mentioned about how I think that it's very mature to have weird shit happening that you don't need to provide distinct answers for. So I think the island is really cool as a character. I'm really afraid that we're gonna get answers that make it really weak as a character.
I just like can't say anything. I just need to let you. I'll say the moment where he's actually hearing the whispers at the end, pretty cool. I thought it was
great. I thought it was wonderful.
I was like psyched for you to see this episode, basically because like a bunch of like island stuff.
Yeah, I love the island.
Yeah. Like this episode, the last one was also really good. This one really feels like, okay, we're doing Lost. Like
we're
there's like
into the
yeah, there's spooky stuff. There's like island stuff. Oh, we're discovering there's this woman here, and like she like how much of what she's saying is trustworthy, you know, which I think is cool. And she like alludes to some things that it's like, oh, what are those? You know, she mentions like the Black Rock and like the others on the island and the voices.
The Black Rock. Cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like hearing about this thing and not getting concrete information on it. I like that feeling. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. It is cool. I also like well, how do I feel about this? Let me think about it. I think it's also interesting that she's like, there's no such thing as monsters.
Totally. What does that mean? Because it could mean so many things. It mean?
Well, I also think...
Yeah, it could mean that the quote-unquote monster is a fantasy and silly and childish and isn't real. It could mean that the quote-unquote monster, we've seen Locke have an encounter with the monster and he came away feeling super cool about it. So it could be like,
yeah,
it's not monstrous.
But we also saw somebody get killed by it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
In the pilot.
But just what does it mean? It's open to interpretation, and that's really a good feeling for me as a viewer of your media to be like, I have agency here. You know, in viewing this media, I have my own agency. That's a good feeling. Please do not answer every fucking question with some dumb shit. Please don't do that.
You know, the other thing that's kind of neat about that line is that it also, like, thematically means something. Like, it totally works in the context of the episode as being, like, a literal thing. But also, thematically, it's like, you know, Saeed has this past of torturing people or whatever. Totally. And, like, that's bad. But he, like, isn't a monster, right? That's, like, what we know him. So it's kind of, like, about the characters, too.
Every monster has their own story about why they are the way they are, which kind of unmonsterizes them in some way.
Yeah, and it's also even about Danielle, right? Because we learn, okay, she killed the people she was with. She says she had, like, a good reason to do it. And she also, like, she's not just like, oh, she's a crazy person. She thinks everyone around her is infected or whatever. Because she, like, lets Saeed go, right?
Yeah, she recognizes and directly states, you're good, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. And... just based on what I know about the reception to Lost around the mysteries, honestly, I am so afraid because they feel so good right now. And I'm so afraid.
The thing... Well, what can I say without spoilers?
Yeah, I mean,
I guess I'll say that... What can I say?
Fuck it, you say whatever you want.
Yeah, but I don't want to ruin anything for you. So,
well, then say nothing, and nothing is what you want to say. That's cool too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll leave it be. You know, we'll see where all these things go. So, yeah, it's cool. I also think that the flashback story is actually, like, interesting, which is good. That's something that I felt about previous ones. Like, I'm not, like, over the moon about this one, flashback-wise, but I think it works, and it's not blow-by-blow super obvious what's gonna happen, and it also, like, the way it ties in with the narrative, the, like, current narrative is cool. Like, there's a lot of, like, inversions there and stuff. I think, like, that, it works as part of, like, the narrative of the episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the way I talked about some of it being flat, the writing, does apply to the flashbacks. This isn't the harshest criticism. There's been some terrible writing in this show.
Yeah.
In the past.
There definitely.
Yeah. And it's not at that level. So I'm genuinely not criticizing it that harshly, but it was kind of straightforward, right? It was kind of direct, not that interesting, not that, I don't know, quote unquote artistic, not that provocative. It was
Mhm.
just there doing its thing, which is kind of okay. I liked the flashback story. The writing in it felt obvious almost, right? Felt very just,
Yeah.
this is this story, which isn't a very different story, isn't a very nuanced story, but it's a story that is, even if it's not obvious, is pretty compelling. Cool. Okay. We see these conflicts with characters and who they are and who they think they are and who they ultimately are through their actions. Saeed ends up freeing her. He shoots himself to free her.
Yeah.
He could have not done that, and that would have also been very interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like there were multiple ways it could have ended. And like it does a smart thing that it does like the same trick that the last episode did, which is like basically in the current narrative, the person who the flashbacks are about says something that like feels like it reveals what's going to happen, but then actually there's a little bait and switch, right? Like, that happened with Sawyer, and in this one, Saeed's like, yeah, she's dead because of something I did. And it's like, oh shit, she's gonna die. But then, like, that's not how the narrative ends, right? That's a nice little satisfying thing.
It's nice, and it let's again compare it to Kate's flashbacks, because Kate's flashbacks are the low point.
Sure, yeah.
It shows us who Saeed is. He was willing to do torture. He did torture people.
Mm-hmm.
That is bad.
Yeah.
He wasn't willing to torture this person who he knew personally and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that, I could entertain an argument that almost makes him worse in a way, in that he believes in torture only when he doesn't have a connection to its impact.
Yeah, the episode concludes with that sort of being his thing, right? Like he frees her, but also he's like, no, but I'm still going to participate in this regime. Not because I believe in it, but because I'm afraid of the consequences, right? And
I think that's cool. Like, that's a cool character. It says something interesting about the character. Whereas Kate's not leaving the marshal to die does not say anything interesting and is boring and makes the current timeline fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's lame. It is lame. Because, like, this one also, it complicates Saeed's character a bit more, because we see this thing that he did. It's like...
He's willing to do some shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he, like, was gonna fucking murder the French woman, right? Yeah. He was gonna just shoot her.
Yeah. It's good. That's a good thing. Why is Kate not like that? Like, actually, why is Kate not like that? Why couldn't they do that with Kate?
I genuinely think it...
Is it because she's a main character, or is it because she's a woman? Like, why couldn't they have Kate be that complicated?
I think that part of it is they assume that we're going to have a lot more complicated feelings about her because she is a criminal.
Oh, God, you're probably
Which I think is like a big assumption.
Oh, my God, that's disgusting.
But I guess, like...
You guess what? Tell me what you guessed.
I don't know, because, like, they show that... No, yeah, I do. No, I do think that is what it is. Right?
No, I think you're right about what it is. I'm just waiting for you to like defend it in some way, so I can tell you to go fuck yourself.
Well, I was trying to think about, like, you know, Sawyer is shown to be a criminal and complicated. Yeah, why didn't they just do that?
Yeah,
I don't know, because like,
why didn't they?
Yeah.
They made Sawyer complicated. They're making Jack pretty complicated. They're making Saeed complicated. They've made Locke kind of complicated. Why is Kate just this fucking white sheet of nothingness? Like, what? I'm so fucking mad.
Yeah, it's lame. It's like...
Anyway, but I don't want to talk about Kate. Yeah, Saeed's flashbacks.
Yeah.
I thought they were good. One thing that I noticed pretty quickly, Saeed, his flashbacks, he begins speaking in Arabic.
Uh-huh.
And then there's this little, like, camera move when he shifts to speaking in English.
Yeah.
That says to you, okay, they're still speaking in Arabic, but it's in English now, but it's totally in Arabic. Just believe that, right?
Yeah.
I was really mad about that.
Yeah, I thought that was lame, because, like, the Sun and Jin one is in Korean.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, yes.
Like, why not just have it in the character's native language?
I got less mad about it, though it does bring up other things that I want to discuss right now. I got less mad about it when I looked at it. I literally paused the episode and went to look it up immediately. Naveen Andrews does not speak Arabic.
He's British, right?
He is British of Indian descent.
Gotcha.
So I want to talk about that. No shade whatsoever to Naveen Andrews, like at all.
Hold on, wait. I do have a response to that, which is, I forget his name, but the actor who plays Jin is American and does not speak Korean.
He does not speak Korean?
He had to learn how to say...
Okay.
He's just like an American guy.
All right. Well, okay, so... The thing is that I know there were far more, Naveen Andrews had far more lines in his flashbacks than, what's his name, the actor who plays Jen? He's like a dude.
Yeah, we should look that up.
He's like a very well-known person who's been in a lot of things.
Daniel Day Kim.
Yeah, Daniel Day Kim. Okay. Naveen Andrews had far more lines in his flashbacks than Daniel Day Kim did. I think that is a factor. It is interesting because I meant to look that up to see if the actors who play Sun and the actor who plays Jin speak Korean. I meant to look that up.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm glad you did. I think that's a factor, though, that they had far fewer, or at least Jin had far fewer lines in Korean.
I mean, so, all of his lines are in Korean, though.
Oh,
but he is like way more
right.
of a peripheral character. Like he tends to get. Thus
lines.
Far, he's gotten like 2 lines per episode, maybe.
Yeah, so. There's just fewer lines there.
Yeah.
I also, when I looked up if Naveen Andrews spoke Arabic and learned that he was British of Indian descent, I also saw some comments from people about how basically, his Arabic is gibberish. Basically, like it's not. Like, it does not actually, if you speak Arabic and you listen to it, you're like, what the fuck is going on? So I understand why they wouldn't have all of his flashbacks in Arabic. I want to say that. I get that. I get it. It's reasonable. It sucks and I don't like it, but I also understand it completely.
Sure.
I do think that, and I'm hoping that it's a kind of a 2004 thing, that in the year 2024, we would not have the same issue. I do think it is worth talking about that they hired a British of Indian descent to play an Iraqi. That isn't the best.
I think that shit has not gone away at all.
You think really that in 2024 we'd get the same shit?
Kinda.
Oh, you're probably right.
I mean, we're not at the point where people are casting like
authentically.
I don't know. Yeah, and it's also like in the past, between people like white people just doing brown face.
Oh fuck! I mean, yeah.
There's also, it used to just be any brown people, but also like India and Iraq are like, I mean, they're vaguely close to each other, but they're pretty different.
Thing. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're pretty fucking different.
And I mean, that's why I say no shade at all towards Naveen Andrews. He's trying to find work as an Indian British actor, and that's not the easiest thing to do, which is fucked up. So like, you're cool, dude. You're fine. But I just think it's not... It's kind of sucks to equate...
I mean...
Hey, look, this person's brown. That... Brown, we did it. We're good.
Yeah. It is lame. Like, it would be cool for them to have an actual, like, an actor of Iraqi descent.
Well,
like,
it's interesting, too, considering...
Or just, like, an Iraqi guy.
Yeah, well, you pointed out even in the pilot episode that it is worth noting having in 2004, when America's sensibilities around Iraqis was like just fucking broken.
Yeah.
That it was worth noting having an Iraqi character who was 3-dimensional and not single note bad. So it's interesting having both of those things exist at the same time, I think. In 2004 is you have this Iraqi character who is decently portrayed, and yet you hire a British actor of Indian descent to portray him. It's just interesting.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it does show the limits of what they were willing to do as the showrunners.
So I do wish that the entire flashbacks had been in Arabic, but I get why they weren't.
Yeah. What you've said also is like, they should have at least hired someone to work with Naveen Andrews to make his Arabic not complete fucking gibberish.
Yeah.
Even if they want to do the flashbacks in English because like he doesn't actually speak the language, whatever.
At least get those few lines to pass.
Yeah.
We can find food, peanuts. We can find food. What do you need? We can
We went through the flashbacks. We went through the non-Saeed stuff. We went through the current time Saeed stuff. We got anything else?
Oh, I guess I just wanted to mention, because this is kind of a dangling thread I didn't mention in the synopsis. We never learn what happened to Alex.
That's true. I did notice that when the reveal came of who Alex was, being her child. She says child, right?
Yes, I actually forgot to put that in the synopsis, but she says, Alex was my child.
I did think it was interesting that Saeed refers to Alex using gendered masculine pronouns, right?
Uh-huh.
And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, Alex could go either way.
Uh-huh.
And then when the real comes, she does not say he was my son. She says Alex was my child. So I thought that was interesting too. But yeah, I thought about that too when that reveal came of like, we don't actually know what's up with that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like questions.
Yeah,
questions
and that's like very
cool.
That's very organic, right? That's not, oh, polar bear.
Exactly. It's very.
It's like characters about like questions about like characters and like
it's not like
what's going on with them.
If they stumbled upon just like a chess set and a certain arrangement in the jungle and it was like, big mystery, I'd be like, who fucking cares?
That's kind of like when they found those stones on like the dead bodies in the cave. Do you even remember that?
I remember that. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. This was a very organic, very character-driven thing that diegetic... I can speak, I swear. I've had a little bit of vodka. That diegetically makes sense for the character. Like, it works. I want to wonder about things because of how it impacts our characters, instead of just being like, yeah, you're right. That is wacky.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Overall, good episode, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There wasn't much to say on the golf stuff, but it was fun. And the main plot was compelling, you know?
Yeah, it was compelling. It had good performances. I liked the side plot, which is not always the case. Kate and Michael continue to suck.
Yeah.
The island continues to be cool. That's basically my summary.
This is also the first episode that felt like it really ended with like a, oh shit, like...
Yeah,
This was the first one where after watching it, I was like, damn, really want to watch the next episode.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they've tried to, even with like the polar bear and stuff, like you pointed out, they've kind of tried to be like, whoa, what is this shit before? But it's never worked because I'm like, it's not attached to anything I care about. But the Whispers, it speaks to Rousseau's character. It speaks to Saeed. It speaks to the island. And with Rousseau's warning about watch the others, it speaks to that. It's great. It's wonderful.
It also like actually gives you stuff to speculate with, because like Rousseau like says enough things that are like just recounting events, and some things that are, it's hard to tell exactly what she means. Like there's enough to speculate what could be going on. Right, yeah. As opposed to just, like, making shit up. It's like, oh, was it, like, is Saeed also, like, losing it? Or, like, are they both true? Like, you know,
or are they both not losing it? Are they both completely rational? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that's cool.
Honestly, to me, just the fact that she is still here after 16 years gives her credibility.
Yeah.
I understand her being erratic because of that. But at the same time, that gives you credibility. Hanging around that long, you've got knowledge. You're not just out there being irrational if you've been there 16 years.
It's like, and she has like a map of the island, which Saeed steals, and some other notes.
I didn't mention that, but I like that characterization of Saeed. He's like, I'm going to steal your map. This is a thing that is valuable to you. I want it because it is valuable to me. I'm going to take it. Like, that is cool.
Yeah.
I like that for him.
It's like he sees the utility of that stuff and he's like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
Absolutely. And that he values his own needs over this other person's needs. That's good. It makes sense. And it's good characterization.
It's also interesting because I'm sure it's a thing where he's like, this would be helpful to everybody else. right?
Yeah.
But it's still him just being like, I am gonna steal this from this woman.
No, totally. He doesn't go, well, it's actually hers, and it would really be an imposition on her because she would lose it if I stole it. That wouldn't be very nice. I'll just leave it for her. Which is fucking Kate leaving the fucking marshal, or not the marshal, the fucking farmer in the fucking car.
Farmer guy.
Fucking what the fuck? Steal the map, steal the fucking map because you fucking want it. Leave the fucking farmer to die because you don't want to be fucking caught. Like, have interesting characterization and motivation about your own goddamn self. Holy fucking shit. Kate sucks.
It's like, you just like, fucking, you hate
No,
Kate.
I said
so
it.
much
I fucking hate Kate until I don't, alright? Give me a reason to not hate Kate. I fucking beg you, fucking writers. Fucking do it.
What would
but
make
until you don't,
like,
make her be a fucking, make her be a freak who doesn't give, like a fucking sex freak who doesn't give a fuck about nobody else. Who's like, hey, Sawyer, let's go fuck in the jungle. And then Jack's like, oh no, I'm getting eaten by a monster. And she's like, oh God, I'm really close, Jack. Just hold on. I'm really close. Like, that would do it for me. I'd be like, all right, let's go, Kate. She's fucking cool now. But until then, God fucking damn it. I do hate Kate. I'm going to stop downplaying how much I fucking hate Kate. God fucking damn it.
Nice.
Yeah, she needs some orgasms. That's what she fucking needs.
to make her compelling.
Yeah, you can show fucking Shannon's ass in a disgusting, leery way, but you can't have Kate get some fucking orgasms? Like, what the fuck? Which is more gross? Leering over Shannon's ass or Kate coming?
Depends how it's shot.
It does depend how it's shot. But, like, conceptually, you know?
Conceptually, Kate, you know, go for it.
Yeah.
Have goals.
God damn. Anyway.
All right.
I feel like I've got a little bit off.
That's great though. We're lost, right? So.
Oh, speaking of Lost, actually. There was a line. There was a line that Rousseau had. I don't remember it exactly, and I didn't write it down. But it was like this show isn't just the Lost title of this show is not just they don't know where they are. It's like they are lost, in a greater thematic sense.
Yeah.
I forget what line it was. I wish I remembered. But there was a moment where I was like, oh, this adds an extra dimension to the title. That's cool.
Totally. And that's like why I think the flashbacks are valuable, because they play that like thematic purpose of setting up that the characters are all searching for different things, right? They're all searching kind of to find themselves or whatever.
Except Kate.
Except for Kate, yeah. God, it's so lame how like easily they could have made her more interesting if they had done like that one thing in the flashbacks. Anyway, we can't just rag on Kate for now. What was I gonna say? Do you want to answer some spontaneous questions that I have?
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
I'll just pitch you some ideas here. One, you could try speculating about some of the mysteries here. So that's one option, right? Another option, this one had golf, and we saw that the best two golf players were Jack and Charlie, right? Uh-huh. We could say, I could hit you with some sports, and you say the best person on the island at that sport. And maybe the sports get increasingly stupid.
I like that, because I feel like I have strong, innate opinions about absurd things. So give me that one. I like that one a lot.
Okay, we could also go back and forth if you want to posit some. Okay, who are you going to bring with you to be the pitcher on your baseball team?
Ooh, pitcher. Pitchers are fucking weird, all right? Pitchers are wacky motherfuckers. They are not normal people. I mean this genuinely and entirely. Like, they are strange folk. You need to be a strange person to be a good pitcher.
Okay, that's just like part of the pitcher criteria. It's good because I know nothing about sports, so you have to tell me what makes somebody good at pitching. I would have assumed it was like throwing a ball good, but no, it's actually being weird.
No, it's like, okay, because, God, I'm going to talk about sports a little bit now. God, I actually know about sports. Yeah.
Oh no, have I activated some sort of trap here?
So pitching is a very, very, even like within sports, demanding and absurd thing to do.
Uh-huh.
The human body is not built to throw a ball at 100 miles an hour That's not normal.
Yeah.
To achieve that, or just pitching in general, you don't need to throw 100 miles an hour. Like, they are absurdly, even within the context of sports, competitive or deranged. They are just weird motherfuckers. So, who would I bring? Who's the Locke? I think, actually. I would bring Locke for
like
pitching.
He's deranged in the way that a pitcher is deranged.
Like, just absurd confidence, just being like, strange. You gotta believe in yourself. You've gotta want to go toe to toe because you think you know what's best and you know what's right. Yeah, Locke, 100%.
All right. Next up, who on the island is gonna win the boxing tournament that they host next episode?
Ooh, boxing. I don't know that much about boxing, so I'm just gonna go with punching, I guess.
Yeah, who's the punchiest?
I would go with Saeed, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saeed seems right to me for boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, who is gonna be on your competitive League of Legends team?
Okay, I just gotta first address the fact that you were talking about sports and you brought League of Legends into it. And I think
said
that's
it was
fucked
gonna
up.
get increasingly insane. There was a big jump between boxing and now we're doing esports.
Sure. I think esports are cool. I've been into esports in the past. I have nothing against esports. They are also not sports. I want to be clear about that. A competitive League of Legends team. Let's just go with Hurley. No, actually, he's too laid back. He's not intense
I
enough.
can't see him getting good, you know?
Yeah. I think...
Although, okay, but there are actually some things that we will learn about Hurley which would make him good at esports. but
I don't know that.
You're going to have to wait until But you don't know that.
Yeah.
You're going to learn it in Hurley's flashback episode.
Yeah, I don't know that at all. So I'm going to go with what I know. I think... I gotta say Charlie, I think. He's on the younger end, and he is pretty laid back, but he has somewhat intense things about him. With his religion and his music, he can get intense. So I'm gonna go with Charlie.
He also does drugs.
Yeah.
Is that an esports thing?
Like Adderall and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing kind of the opposite by doing heroin, but yeah.
But no, I think he can be intense in the right way.
Yeah. All right.
This is fun. I like this. You got more?
Yeah. The ones that suck, we can just cut out, right? I'm just thinking of other various competitive things. Cooking competition.
Cooking. Have we seen anybody cooking?
I have an answer for this one, actually.
Oh, what's your answer? Because I think I don't.
Fucking gin.
Oh shit, you're totally right.
We saw him plating those fish.
You're 100% right. You're 100%. 100% right. Yeah, it wasn't just the collecting of the fish. It was the presentation. He knew what he was doing.
Presentation would be top notch.
Yeah, and if you know how you're presenting like that, you've got to have confidence in the product also.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Totally.
You're right, Jen. It's Jen. You're right.
What are other things people can compete at?
I thought you had this prepared. I thought you had a list.
No, this is off the dome. Debate club.
Debate club.
Oh, yeah.
Jack. He's very rational. He's very unemotional, which is important.
That's
in
true.
Debates. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good debate club guy. He also, people automatically like him, which, well, does that matter? I don't know.
Does
I don't know how
matter.
debate club works. Matters. Totally. Let me think here. Competitive Dungeons and Dragons.
What is that? That's a thing?
I don't know. You just gotta roll with it. Somehow that works.
Oh boy. Let's think about these characters.
Oh shit. I know who it would be.
Let me think about it a minute. I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. And I'll tell you my pitch.
I gotta ask. Is it somebody we've already named as the winner for something?
I don't know.
Competitive Dungeons. Locke likes games. I don't think it's
that's
him,
true.
though.
He is a war gamer. Oh shit.
It's not Boone, it's not Shannon, it's not Jack, it's not Kate. It could be Hurley, but that's kind of stereotypical, I guess. I don't think it's Charlie at all. He's too cool. Not Sun or Jin. Not Michael. Not Walt. And it's got to be somebody I've said, because I've said so many people. It's not Saeed. It's not Sawyer. Who is it?
Sawyer.
It's Sawyer?
He's a con
maybe
man.
You're right. Holy shit.
His entire job is pretending to be other people.
No, I said it's not Sawyer because he was too normy, but You're not wrong at all.
He would never voluntarily be in a competitive Dungeons & Dragons competition, but he would be the
committed.
Best.
Yeah, he would be in it. He would 100% that shit. Like, he would...
If he had a con that required him to win at Dungeons & Dragons.
I actually...
Somehow.
So, this isn't new information, but I like Sawyer's character. I think it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
He's
Like,
interesting.
yeah. Like, fuck that guy. But also, he's interesting and charming and handsome and stuff. All right. You can catch us on... Where are we?
You do that all that stuff. I don't want anything to do with any of that.
Neither of us do. That's the problem. Okay, you can catch us at thelonglostpodcast@gmail.com or thelonglostpod on TikTok and Instagram, maybe. And also on YouTube, I am on Instagram. I am Dorkpunk with Q's instead of K's. Lana, are you anywhere?
No, I'm nowhere. You can email. That's where I am. But like, I'm not even gonna read that shit because trolls might spoil shit or whatever. So I don't know. If you know me, and you can just talk to me.
Nice. Do you want to know who's doing the flashbacks next episode?
Yeah, give me the title and give me that's been the vibe. Give me the title. Yeah. Give me the. Also, I'm gonna say again because I probably cut the first time I said it. I was having a nice little like. I'll have some juice and vodka, little mimosa. And then I had a little bit more, and then I started just drinking straight vodka, and now I'm pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I could tell you're sloshed. Have fun with the editing on this one.
But yeah, give me the title, give me the flashback character.
Season 1, Episode 10, Raised by Another. This one is a Claire episode.
Ooh, was she like an orphan or adoptee?
I don't know. We'll find out. But it's pretty interesting that she's like very peripheral, right, so far. So it's kind of cool that we're getting a Claire episode.
I agree. I think it's really cool that we're going to get... Because I want to see more of Claire than she's a bitch with an ass.
Wait, of Claire? You're thinking of...
Wait, I'm thinking of Shannon. I think it's cool that we're getting some stuff with Claire because she's been pretty peripheral. And yeah, who's her baby daddy and stuff? Like, I don't know. That's cool.
Who knows? Immaculate Conception? Could be.
Whoa, that would be so cool. But to be that, she would have had to have been on the island. I actually would believe that the island would immaculately concept like the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I believe that. I would be so into that storyline, but she had it beforehand. Wait, fuck, sorry. I wanted to mention this in the beginning and I forgot. So we just released, this is a weird insight into our timeline. We just released Walkabout, the Lock episode.
The Lock one, yeah.
Today that came out. And I was just thinking, because I've been editing that and then listening to it to make sure it wasn't fucked up. I've had it in my head a lot. And then it made me wonder, did nobody see Locke in a wheelchair? Is somebody on a plane in a wheelchair not like a noticeable thing?
I guess nobody among the survivors must have noticed.
Yeah, the answer is no, but I don't. And that's fine. That's okay. I'm not being pissy or whatever, pedantic about that. But I think that it would have been realistic if somebody was like, wait, wasn't that dude in a wheelchair? I saw him on the plane in a wheelchair. And it's just like a narrative thing.
I guess everyone who saw that is dead, maybe.
Yeah, but he survived, so he had to have been among the other survivors. Like, in proximity to the other survivors.
Yeah.
So, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. I just think it's like, I just wanted to point it out as a thing that they had to kind of just be like, don't worry about this shit, because...
Yeah, that's definitely just like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And it worked. It was fine. I'm not pissy about it because, like, I literally, until I listened to that episode like 14 fucking times, I didn't think about it. So it worked.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about that episode, Walkabout, with they being super fucking cute with the name Walkabout because he was in a wheelchair and paralyzed.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's fucked up. If it is.
Yeah, I had that thought, and I was like, "You motherfuckers think you're so cute, but actually you're shit." Yeah,
because he's walking about. Tee hee hee.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. I agree. But I've had experiences the past few days.
Nice. You're going to have an experience tomorrow morning of being hungover.
No, I don't get hangovers. You know this, right? Have I never told you that?
Yeah, I remember. You've told me about it. It's because you have the liver of someone who's like only started drinking just recently.
I didn't start drinking until I was 28.